Why, hello there. Anyway, I am the author of Twisted Story Asylum. Mr. John Ricciardelli. There's volume number 4, which is available on Amazon and will soon be available on Kindle for ebooks, along with my other 3 books that I've published. Anyway, this particular chapter is part 2 of the rape clinic. Now, I had 2 chapters. The first rape clinic chapter was a collaboration between a good friend of mine and myself, who also chooses to remain anonymous for personal reasons. This particular one was an original work of mine. Now, the idea behind this particular story, the Rape Clinic 2, is essentially, it's about this transgender guy, or transphiliac, or fucking whatever the fuck you want to call him, right? And he goes to a sex change clinic that's takes place in a circus tent, except it's not actually a sex change clinic at all. It's actually a place where he gets raped by a giant, stinky female truck driver who weighs like 400 pounds, right? And then, of course, he gets tarred and feathered afterwards. But, anyway, this is a very dark parody. It's not meant to be taken seriously. And I hope you enjoy the story. And there's quite a story leading up to it. So, anyway, shall we proceed with the reading? In recent years, the idea of changing one's physical characteristics has become more and more socially acceptable as each year passes by. For example, if one were to be human, but have an overwhelming desire to become a chicken, that person might have feathers implanted into his flesh, have foot surgery to have chicken feet with talons as opposed to human feet, hands and arms grotesquely modified as to imitate chicken wings, and have a synthetic beak grafted to his or her face, along with a graft of additional flesh to create a comb, fleshy red protrusion atop a chicken's head. Now here is the man before the surgery, and here is him getting a comb on his head, the beak grafted to his face, and feathers implanted to his skin, and his feet are actually sawn into, or sawed up halfway, as to make chicken feet. Now here is the man afterwards, an abomination, right? Right. Under normal societal standards, that man would be written off as a complete lunatic, and so would people like Bruce Jenner. Oh boy, here we go. For his insane attempt at being a woman, even though it is clear that he was born a man and is a poser in the worst way imaginable. A man, in parentheses, a man who thinks he is a girl in the same manner a delusional white man acts ghetto and thinks he is a nigger, or a wigger, in parentheses. Yet, for some reason, our media and society have fallen into some mentally sick state in which this type of behavior is not only tolerated, it is celebrated to the point where anyone who is caught not praising or being uninfatuated with this so-called brave and heroic transformation is deemed as a despicable and irrationally bigoted piece of human excrement. The reality is Bruce, along with other trannies, are ultimately faggots with a girly fetish that has gone too far. Now, for instance, here's Bruce Jenner. He says, "Look at me, I'm a girly man, worship me, ooh, ooh." And there's this boner with his fucking splooge, and there's the people worshipping him like he's some sort of fucking god. And then a Klansman shows up with his little, adorned with a little burning cross, and he says, "Fuck you." So, unfortunately, this is kind of where our society is going these days. So, basically, a judge, a nigger tranny judge, sentences the Klansman to death as a gender identity blasphemer. As a gender identity blasphemer, I hereby sentence you to beheading by bandsaw. And there is the poor Klansman having his head sawn off with a bandsaw while another tranny masturbates, getting a blood shower. Okay, I've already described it up here. This is the text that describes it. After the incident, a bunch of right-wingers and others against the transgender movement come up with a grisly plan. The people would set up a phony bolony sex reassignment clinic that in actual fact was a rape clinic in which the transgender would be raped by a big fat smelly female truck driver to add insult to injury to victim transphiliac would be sent a bill in the mail for the rapist's time. A complimentary tarring and feathering would commence after the rape. A man with an 18th century powdered wig and attire on horseback with a totem dolly being towed by the horse would proceed to strap the creature, transgender, to the wagon / dolly / whatever the fuck, then proceed to the staging area. Now here is a depiction of the transgender, transvestite, whatever the fuck he is, and there's a circus man inviting him into the sex reassignment tent. Now here's the rapist truck, okay? Nice rig, right? And here is the transphiliac, who is being apprehended by the workers. One of which is a bouncer, and the other one's a Nazi. See? What? What the fuck is this? Why are you doing this to me? Shut the fuck up, faggot. You had it coming. He says. And the other guy says, let's go. And there is the fat female truck driver. You know, she's got like a spittoon in her truck, and she smokes a lot, and this and that. And there's her naked. Ugh. I know, it's pretty horrible, right? And there he is, strapped, bound to a table. And there's the rape commencing, right? I'm being crushed by this fat pig! Rape invoice. Rape service, $150. Truck parking, $10. Tent space, $40. Tarring and feathering free. Total $200. No interest for 2 months. Okay. And here is where she tries to get the tranny to lick her pussy that hasn't been washed in 2 weeks. Now, here's the man with the powdered wig. Quite an outfit he's got. He's got some sort of bizarre early 1700s outfit with a horse. And he's got a backsword, a little bit outdated even for that time period, because backswords were normally common in the 15 and 1600s, but whatever, I don't know, I guess it's his style. And he's got some sort of wooden totem dolly, which I guess is a large pole of wood in which this man is strapped. Then he goes to the staging area, where a bunch of very right-wing people tar him. See? Ah! And then he's tarred, and then the powdered wig man puts feathers on him. Now, the man who is tarred and feathered runs through the woods. His men with 18th century style muskets fire at him, intentionally missing as to make him jump around and run around and very quickly. Now, towards the end, the powdered wig man does a ride-by, I guess. So he takes his backsword, or whatever type of sword that is, and slashes another transvestite's head in half as he rides away into the sunset on his horse. Very interesting stuff, right? Now, if you think that one's interesting, wait until you read the first one, the Rape Clinic, the original, the first one, which is a very good story. It's a very sick and twisted, so I would strongly recommend, if you have a weak stomach, not to read it, or not to view the video. But if you do want to, stay tuned. It's coming. It's on its way. Alright, well, thanks for reading. Thumbs up, subscribe, and tell your friends. Alright, bye-bye.